These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? The two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Under the sea, darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore they work all day.
These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's barley basket.
Welcome, everybody. It is episode 23 of America's Barley Basket. I am your host, Marlin Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulsabach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlin.
How are you today?
You know, I am doing pretty good. I mean,
okay.
It's still early in the day. We could have some up. Yeah, not bad. I got a variety of beverages surrounding me. I've been nibbling on a little can of spicy sriracha almonds.
Oh, look at this guy.
So, drink about, I don't know, roughly 50 ounces of coffee. So my bowel movements should be very troubling. Got that crunchy with the almond bits in it. So,
oh, my God.
Call that
That's how we're going to start, huh? It is not
ripper.
early. It is not early at all. It is 2:30 in the afternoon.
I'm a man who enjoys sleep, Marlin.
No one sleep schedule is the right one, Nathan. I don't mean to put mine upon you.
And I had to do a online, like a Zoom meeting for work. So I'm wearing a very nice dress shirt and underpants. I got a hell of a combo going right now. And I'm sitting in a recliner that I need to quit, Marlin. I'm a goddamn grown man. I have to quit buying used recliners because a man of my girth, you need new, freshly built. I've owned this thing for like 3 weeks and it has, can a guy still say ghetto lean? Can a chair have a ghetto leak in a white man's? Okay.
I don't see why not.
I'm getting fucking canceled 2 to 3 times a week anyhow lately. Got too many political hot takes. That's why I'm on Parler.
I'm just impressed. I think you have moved up in the world by buying used furniture rather than getting it off the curb.
Yeah, that is true. Holy man. I'm so surprised I haven't got some kind of weird tick-borne virus from all the used furniture I have.
Yeah, it's a wonder you're not just covered in bed bugs. Like they're just part of you. There's a bed bug colony somewhere in your skin at this point.
Yeah, I had a weird run-in with some kind of bug. Then I was young enough, I was still going home in the summer to live, and my dad took my mattress and just sprayed it with like DDT or something that beds shouldn't be sprayed in. And then I commented, like, why is my bed outside? It's like, oh, Dad's taking care of the bug thing or whatever. And I was not told that he was using, like, you know, industrial level insecticides. So, well, we'll see how that ages.
Crops with.
Yeah. I can't think of if it was. I think it was Roundup. I'm pretty sure it was Roundup.
Roundup's a weed killer. So if you had plants growing in that mattress gotta go.
That was probably a whole other issue.
Gotta get this Creeping Jenny out of this Serta.
I guarantee we mentioned Creeping Jenny more than any other Simpsons-based podcast.
That is a promise. That's a promise that this podcast lives up to.
There's been at least 2 references to giving fat men hand jobs. That means you got to treat her like Creeping Jenny, where you really got to dig in and get her at the base. So we're informative too.
Yeah, we really ought to be sponsored by like the North Dakota Ag Council at this point. Mm-hmm. Start doing ads for soybeans.
Yeah, or at least like, you know, give us a name drop at the top of the hour futures prices on AM radio.
Yeah, exactly. I think we deserve it. I think we've worked hard for it.
I'm going to get into one thing, too, before we jump into the episodes. I just realized that season 6, kind of like in the early aughts when DVDs were still all the rage, season 6 was the season of The Simpsons that was in that, like, clamshell case shaped like Homer's head. Do you remember that at all?
Oh, okay. I remember novelty DVD cases.
And people freaked out because it was impossible to store on, like, a shelf.
Oh, sure.
So, to the point where they re-released it, or you could send them like a self-addressed stamp envelope, and they would send you a new case. I even looked that up to see if that was an urban legend. Nope. People were that pissed off about it. They're like, hey, if you want a regular case, we'll send you a regular case.
We want just a regular box to go on our shelf.
Yeah. Oh, man. I am. You talk about aging. Holy moly. I'm still the kind of guy that I love walking into someone's house and they have just like shelves of random media. Like, I want to look at your CDs, bro. I want to look at your books. I'm into that shit.
I definitely have books. I prefer physical books to digital books. Just as a whole, I like having them. I like displaying them, and there's something about trying to read a book on an iPad that I just don't like. But movies and music, I moved on, man. I had a friend just last night ask me, hey, do you have any like old horror movies on DVD? And I was like, what's a fucking DVD? No, I do not. I don't have any DVD. And then it struck me, yes, I have one set of DVDs, and that's the collector's edition of all of the Ninja Turtles cartoon. That's the one that I have. It comes in the turtle van, and the top lifts off, and there's like 22 discs or something. Yeah. It's great. But that's it.
Yeah, I sold a ton of almost all my DVDs, and I am a guy going down with the physical media ship. So it's kind of, I was just in a weird spot in life, Marlin. I didn't have a lot of room to store shit, so I had to get rid of. It still saddens me that I got rid of my VHS collection because God, that I have a beaut.
I'll bet.
Yeah, man.
Like you of all people, I bet really had a collection.
I had I bought it going out of business rental shop. I had like a VHS copy of Psycho from like 1980. It weighed like 7 pounds. Nothing. It didn't make any sense. It's like, did they put lead? It literally felt like there was like lead inside it. Like, I was going to crack that thing open, but it's like, that's just how you die young. You're breathing in things you shouldn't breathe.
It's like The Ring, where the VHS tape is what kills you.
Yeah, exactly.
It was probably full of fucking bed bugs was the issue.
Just old thoraxes.
Yep, just full of dust mites and skin flakes.
Yeah, bring it to my my trusty VHS repair guy so he can crack her open. Yep, full of dead bed bugs. We get this a lot with guys that look like you.
Yeah, there we go. I'll get the DDT out of the back. He's just got it in a hand pump sprayer.
Yeah.
Like
just scattering everywhere.
Like the 3-gallon jug with the pump on top. Yep, I'll clean these out for you. Yeah. I'd imagine you got more like this. I can do this all at once if you like.
Usually I don't have to pump it this many times. There's a lot of bed bugs.
I gotta mix another batch. It's 3-to-1. It's concentrate. I don't know why he has that accent in North Dakota.
I went for it too because I only have it's tough to do a North Dakota accent when you have a North Dakota accent.
Right, which you do more than I do. I think we both do, but I think you more than I have
I don't deny my heritage, Marlin. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to go on record as a proud North Dakotan. Let's cut proud out of there.
Yeah,
let's do that
I was just
editing.
about to say, you really want to throw proud on there the way things are going in North Dakota?
Not so much right now, but
North Dakota, home of the COVID.
Yeah. Hey, Phil Jackson.
And Phil Jackson.
Half a century ago.
And you know what he did? He fucking left as soon as he could. Ran for the hills, did Phil Jackson.
We got Phil Jackson. We got like a bunch of the America's next top model gals. We got
like 3 baseball players.
All from Jamestown. Who else?
I don't know what they're doing in Jamestown.
We got that little kid from the Dick Tracy movie. That's 30 years ago. Well,
okay.
That's about it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The little kid from Dick Tracy. Yeah, he was a Fargo guy.
What's that? We got that actor now that everyone in North Dakota loves.
Duhamel.
Yeah, Josh Duhamel.
Yeah. Well, he's making bank. He's riding he's just chilling out till they make another Transformers movie, and he's just cashing them North Dakota checks.
Yeah, he's
check out Watford City. I need $50,000 for that. Yes, sir. Coming this way, Mr. Duhamel.
Why not? Why not? No direct eye contact with Mr. Duhamel. Fellow was married to Fergie back when that meant something.
Yeah, can't take that away from him.
Yeah, he'll always have that.
Yeah.
And he'll always be weird North Dakota royalty. I don't see what people see in the guy.
I don't know. Everything, because I am from the area he's from. Apparently, he's a solid dude. Everyone that grew up around him and stuff. Yep, he's a good guy.
Oh, we got that Carson Wentz fella, that football player.
Which is good because a handful of the North Dakota celebrities deny they're from North Dakota. Angie Dickinson would never talk about North Dakota.
No, nope.
She just ignored that she ever lived here.
I always found it weird that they hold Josh Duhamel on such a pedestal. That he just strikes me as great value Timothy Oliphant. He's
well
just
done.
Diet Timothy Oliphant.
I think it's just because he'll happily admit it that he's from North Dakota. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, that's probably all it takes.
And I mean, good gravy. What else have we produced for, acting talent? Did I mention the kid from Dick Tracy?
You did. There we go.
After that. Also, the nerd kid that gets buck wild at his senior party in the 1998 movie Can't Hardly Wait. I think he was from North Dakota, too.
Boy, you got to really get to the bottom of the barrel. You're really dipping crumbs out of this potato chip bag to get the last bit out.
Oh man! Speaking of media,
we're an out of the way place to be. Speaking of media,
anytime any hayseed in this state ever considers North Dakota to be relevant, we have less of a population than the metro area of Albany, New York. Think of that. Albany, New York is not even the 5th most relevant city in New York.
Yeah.
And they're bigger than our entire state. But by God, that's why we like it, I guess.
That's why we tolerate it.
We like it because we were born here.
Yeah, we like it because we never...
Change is real hard.
We don't have gas money. It's...
Yeah. They won't let me get on the bus anymore.
Which, to be fair, neither would I after the incident.
My blood sugar was crashing.
So was the bus.
Thanks to the blood sugar. Trying to wrestle $100,000 bar out of a bus driver's hand on the interstate. He said you had no candy. I had no candy for you, fat man.
The orange juice didn't cut it. Give me this $100,000 bar. Give me one of them. There's 2 in there. They're 2 little nubs. Give me one nub.
They're meant for friendship. Share me some friendship candy.
They're meant for sharing. You know how bus drivers are so selfish. Out for themselves, those bus drivers.
Yeah. I had a friend who, when we moved to Nashville, we were very young, 18, 19, had no idea how mass transit worked. And my friend got on the bus for the first time, and a very gregarious man jumped in to drive the bus with a jerry curl. And he turned around and said, "If you value your lives, get off this bus. I'm just playing. My name's Teddy." And it was just and then a very stoic-looking, very tough-looking Mexican-American gentleman got on the bus holding a giant, well-garnished hot dog in one hand, struggling to get bus fare out of the pocket of his pants. And while he's struggling, the bus driver turns around, looks at him, and, "Hey, folks, guess this guy should have spent all his money on this hot dog." And I'll get a little laugh. "Hey, fella, how if you give me that hot dog, you get a free bus ride?" The man looks him dead in the eyes. "You're never going to eat this hot dog." And he goes, oh, I've been told. Teddy's been told. And my friend's like, "I'm going to ride the bus every fucking day."
Yeah, no shit.
That's amazing.
That's what I was just wondering. Why did you ever come back? You went and found Teddy, the open mic bus driver.
I think my friend quickly realized that riding a bus that takes 7 hours to get 3 miles in Tennessee heat in the summer while you're probably wearing giant Jinko jeans because it was 1999.
Yeah.
Ain't no way to live a life.
No, those Jinko, those stovepipe legs of the Jinko jeans really trap heat. Yeah. They trap heat. Yeah. It's like a vapor chamber up to the crotch because heat rises.
Yeah. All generates at the groin.
Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be a big city boy. He didn't need a car. Within 3 weeks, a buddy of ours was driving his S10 pickup down from North Dakota.
Well, he learned. He tried. He gave it a shot. At least he's got Teddy. He'll always have Teddy.
Speaking of Teddy, what about The Simpsons, Marlin?
Oh, that was okay. That's not how segues work, but The Simpsons is a fantastic television program.
Man, I think it's going to make it, buddy.
Today we are doing episodes 9 through 13 of Season 6. As we move through Season 6, solid batch, as they all are anymore, so goes without saying, man. I think.
I had to remind myself to quit just writing down funny jokes, or this would be the worst podcast ever, because we would be discussing 200 funny jokes.
Right.
I'm consistently laughing out loud all the time.
Yep, I will occasionally, I have a handful of notes that's just a joke in quotations, but for the most part, I try not to and just enjoy them and take overarching notes, but goddamn, sometimes they bear mentioning.
Yeah. And our first episode tonight is Homer Badman.
Oh, it's tonight now, is it?
Oh, tonight. I figure people like to listen to our podcast after a hard day at work. You know, kick back and pour yourself a glass of wine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Take your pants off. You're not at work. Take them off.
Got the fireplace going, a candle lit.
Get rid of that shirt. You don't need it. What are you doing, man? It's 8 p.m. You're just relaxing, got the temp right. Just perfect. Perfect for maybe losing some more clothes. Get rid of those underwear. Why? Stop living by society's norms. Just get out there and feel good. Feel your body with your hands. Just do it. Don't be ashamed of what you look like. You're God's creature. You're beautiful. Run those hands up and down. Maybe spin in a little circle in front of a mirror. You're a dirty boy and or girl. Enjoy it. Turn up the podcast. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The mood has been set.
Perfect. Are those your moves when you come home with someone? Is that your...
Nah, that's more kind of like fuck, we may as well get this over with, huh?
Good attitude to have.
Yeah,
Let's get...
It's like, I think at least 3 of the 4 corners of the fitted sheet are still attached to the bed, so we don't got to roll around on the mattress cover, which is not good for anyone.
Let's hurry this up. I'm hungry.
Yeah. So, episode 9, did you say?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Homer Badman. I was going to say a good episode, but that's dumb. They're all good. Homer, through kind of a Willy Wonka type scenario, except he's actually just ripping candy bars apart at the Quickie Mart. Gets 2 tickets to the candy convention, and he brings Marge, not because Marge loves candy, but because Marge has a larger body than the children, so she can smuggle more candy out. And there's a great sight gag where Marge is just ridiculously loaded up in a trench coat full of candy.
Yeah, she's more pack mule than anything.
Yeah, like a giant bell at just a giant plumped up trench coat. And while there, Homer steals a gummy Venus de Mayo, because it's like the creme de la creme of all gummy treats.
Gummy sculpting, apparently a big thing in the gummy industry.
Exactly. I didn't know there was like an elitism towards gummy candies, but apparently there is. And during this time, Ashley Grant, a local graduate student, is babysitting the kids because they've burnt all their bridges with other babysitters in town. And Homer brings home the babysitter. And while she's exiting the vehicle, Homer notices that the gummy Venus de Mayo is stuck to her bottom. Homer is a man of many lusts, but not a sexual man, but he enjoys a good treat. And he was looking forward to that gummy. So he reaches out and grabs it off of her bottom and eats it. To which she misinterprets as a very crude sexual advance.
Not unwarranted, because he's like drooling like he does. He's a little creepy about it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say not her fault.
Yeah. I love a tasty treat, but Jesus Christ, a gummy to get that excited, man? I don't know. Homer.
Well, yeah, but it's the gummy. It's the That's Venus true. Gummy. It is.
Well, I've never had high-end gummy treats. What am I? Yeah. Gummy rube over here.
Fuck, I would take a gas station generic brand gummy worm off of somebody's booty. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, gummies are the perfect trash food to eat off someone's ass or off the floor because there's nothing natural in it. It can't. Those gummies are going to outlive you, brother.
Oh, for sure. Yes, if you leave those out in the sun, they'll survive you for sure. I'm pretty sure they become fossils. I think gummies will fossilize.
Your great-great-grandchildren will run a car off of them. So within a day's turnaround time, there is now a mob, an old-fashioned Simpsons mob.
Springfield mob's
mob.
Up in a hurry. Yep.
Yeah, because they are accusing Homer of sexual harassment of poor Ashley. And it just keeps building. Homer tries many different ways. I did like that, yeah. Simpsons are 25 plus years ahead of cancel culture. It was kind of in the news at this time a little bit, but boy, yeah, it really fits in nowadays.
They really come after Homer, the media in particular.
Yeah, and in the media, man, that was an amazing. There's features pretty prominently in this episode. Is it Rock Bottom? That like.
Yeah, the kind of Dateline-esque, like
exploitive,
real sensationalized investigative program,
which were so big in the 90s. Like I remember, I think Inside Edition was like a syndicated, really shitty, bottom of the barrel. Speaking of really shitty, I think that's where Bill O'Reilly kind of got first in the public eye.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Inside Edition.
I was like reading, like, whatever happened to that fucking shit biscuit? I forgot. He got like fired for sexual harassment.
Yep.
Like, do you know how gross you gotta be to get fired off Fox News? To be like this wasn't he like shoving like the. Like, I don't want to go into detail. It involves places you shouldn't shove pen caps. But he was doing it to himself and telling interns about it.
Like, good.
Think, I mean, that's a road you might not want to go down with a Google. But if that's your kind of thing, if that's your special kind of kink, go right ahead. But
he was subscribed to the Clarence Thomas school of sexual harassment, where you just tell people about the sick shit you do.
Yeah,
at work.
I like the idea of just casually mentioning it, like not even trying to just like as if anyone would want to know. Like I don't want to. Yeah, no.
Just around the water cooler.
Yeah. Hey, last night me and Denise saw how many TV remotes I could get up my own ass. You wouldn't believe. I mean, we got the garage door opener. There was something, really something. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even the little Roku ones. I didn't even feel it. It's just crazy.
You just drop them in.
Yeah. Well, back to the salt mines.
Just stirring sugar into a cup of coffee, standing in the break room.
Yeah.
I was just bored watching Inside Edition last night, eating Cheetos, and I'll be damned if I didn't get a crunchy one halfway down my pee hole. It was a real mess is what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Probably should have used a snack that has a hard outer shell, like maybe a pretzel stick. That salt's gonna burn like a bastard, though. But hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right, gang? Well, back to it.
Live and learn. You gonna play softball this year? You gonna be on the team?
Got the list up on that corkboard there.
Yeah, don't be afraid to sign up. Got Cheeto dust all over his hands still.
Yeah. I don't want to work here anymore.
I need to go home.
Yeah. And yeah, just most of the episode is just endless, like Homer trying to, clear his name and it not working. Like I loved when like his friends from the bar come to like they part the crowd. Like, listen, like you guys
they're
don't
gonna defend him. Yeah.
Yeah. It just auctions off all the dirt that they have on them. So great.
Yeah, you don't know Homer's up there. You don't know Homer, but I do, and I'll give for $10,000. I'll tell you all the sick shit.
Yeah. One thing that I love too is how they use public access television to cover or clear Homer's name.
Yeah. Because it has zero sensationalism to it.
Yeah, because no one cares. I haven't had like basic cable in a while. Like, do you think public access is still a thing in Fargo? God, I hope it is.
It's gotta be. I don't. I don't see why they would take it away. It's not like it costs them anything to run it. So
I hope some of our maybe Fargo-based viewers can remember this, but this is right before I moved to town, so I only heard the details. There was a public access show called White Power Hour, ran by the kind of guy that you would think would run a show called White Power Hour. And
oh boy,
you can imagine the takes were fairly hot.
It was dedicated to the White Power Ranger.
Yep. We could only hope, but it was exactly what you think it is. But that young gentleman decided to go to the wrong bar one night, apparently, and got the ever-loving shit kicked out of him by two men, African-American persuasion.
Good.
And he showed up on the show very, very beaten up and very lumpy. And made like a tearful apology, which is so great. Like, so rarely do people like that get their comeuppance, which is
that's fantastic.
So wonderful. Yep.
You love to see a villain lose.
Yep, how different 20 years ago was. Imagine trying to get that. Like, back then, I'm sure it was literally like signing up for a softball team. There was a list with 20 lines. Hey, you want a show? Here it is. Here's the open time slots. Do what you want. Can
you imagine pitching that show?
Yep. Because I'm sure even before said beating, that man was not photogenic. It's just my big doughy face talking about racism for 30 minutes.
Oh, my God. I wonder if that exists online anywhere.
Oh, man, if it did.
Oh, we can only hope. There's the next podcast. We'll recap all the episodes of White Power Hour on
there'd be a lot of
Fargo
loud
Public
exhales. Yeah. Boy, I just want to say again, we do not reflect the views of the White Power Hour. I have never even met a Dominican man. I didn't even know these were stereotypes.
I'm not convinced they are. I think he was just making them up. I think it was
Cambodian
improv.
people have funny feet. I mean, I wouldn't assume why they would.
I don't think this man knows what he's talking about. It's just improv hate speech. I don't know what's happening here.
Really a stream of consciousness hate speech.
Can't believe they got a whole hour of this, huh? I'll be damned. Oh, man. That'd be fun to try to mine comedy gold out of that.
Oh, my God, yeah. And I kind of like the theme from last week's batch of episodes, kind of like from the Treehouse of Horror. Groundskeeper Willie, again, with the save in this one.
Yep.
I do like Groundskeeper Willie being on the side of good.
I like Groundskeeper Willie being on the screen. I don't care in what context. Because, it turns out Groundskeeper Willie has a fun habit that he claims all Scottish people do of just videotaping strangers.
Yeah. And he shows that Homer was indeed just grabbing a candy off of Ashley's bottom.
Yeah, and everyone's pretty much forgives Homer, like, okay, we were wrong, and they move on.
Classic Springfield mobs. They, as quickly as they get riled up, they quickly dissipate.
Yeah, they cool off just as quickly.
Yeah.
And they're on to the next thing that they're mad about, which is Willie. And his videotaping.
For being a creep.
And I love that the title of because they show like next week on Rock Bottom, and it's all about Willie and his videotaping, and the title of that upcoming episode is called Rowdy Roddy Peeper, and that's amazing.
He's so great. Marge had a great line where she says, the courts may not work anymore, but as long as everyone keeps recording everyone, justice will be served. Oh, Marge, if it was only that easy.
Right? Because here we are, and there's very little justice being served. Yeah. We have proof of everything and no convictions, ever.
Yep. Fun. Good times.
Yay, America.
There's a great gag at the end where Rock Bottom had to admit they were wrong about Homer. They had to release a list of other things they were wrong about, and pausing it and starting it again was so great.
Oh, did you go through and do that?
So many great ones in there. The funny thing is, the one that I first chose and I thought was funny is the one they also mentioned. Ted Koppel is a robot.
Oh,
And
God.
V8 juice is 1/8 gasoline.
That's why it tastes so good. I love V8.
I've stood up for V8 on many occasions over the last several decades.
I was a hater for a long time because I don't like tomato juice, but there's something about a V8. It's those other 7, I think, that make it real good.
Baffling relationship with tomatoes, Marlin. I love tomatoes in almost everything except tomato soup. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I feel like I got to give it another try or something, but I don't know why I don't like tomato soup. I can't think of a version of tomatoes. Fried green. I just eat a tomato like a fucking apple. I'm a freak, Marlon. I'm not afraid to say it. Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to kink shame you, but
Thank you. You know, like give me a Ziploc bag full of little baby tomatoes. That's a fun road trip snack right there, brother.
See, I'm in the opposite camp of as a blanket statement, don't like tomatoes, but I do have a couple of exceptions. Like you give me chunks of tomato in pasta sauce or salsa, but it just like the thought of eating a tomato is kind of stomach turning to me.
What's your thoughts on the thought of me eating a tomato? Perhaps, I don't know.
That moves
shirtless. Oh, it's dribbling, Marlin. Marlin, it's all over.
I mean, that does move it up the list a little bit, but I'm still not like I'm still not going to do it.
Fair enough.
But I'll watch you do it, I guess.
That's all I need to hear.
Someone's got to hold the video camera, right? So,
we got to make that OnlyFans money somehow.
May as well be me. No sense outsourcing it.
The tasteful stuff just isn't selling.
Oh, come on. You shirtlessly eating a dripping tomato counts as tasteful.
Just me in basketball shorts with my head stuck in the dryer. Oh, no, I'm stuck in the dryer again. Why does this keep happening? Why can't I just remove my head from a dryer hole that's 3 times the size of my head? Don't ask silly questions. Just keep watching.
Oh, boy. There's a great joke when they're setting up the public access for Homer to give his statement. They're hanging an American flag behind him, and Marge goes, "That flag only has 49 states. What the hell?" And Grandpa, without missing a beat, goes, "I'll be dead in the cold, cold ground before I recognize Missouri."
Which was I thought for sure he would say one of the last states, like Alaska or Hawaii, but I like how he has a range from Missouri.
Yeah, he's got a problem with Missouri.
As a man who's driven both east and west and north and south through Missouri, totally a fine take. I have no argument with that. No argument with that.
I've not visited Missouri, but
I have a thought. And again, I'm sure there's many beautiful people living there, but those like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, especially in the southern half, they have like this, they're southern people, they're southern culture. And I think they feel a little bit like kind of like ashamed and self-conscious of how geographically north they are. So they make up for it by being extra racist. Talk to anyone, it checks out. Anyone that spent any time there, southern Indiana, you feel like you're in Mississippi in the 1920s.
Really?
Like,
what is happening in Indiana?
Yeah, man. Like I spent the night in French Lick, Larry Bird's hometown.
Yep.
What up? Mm-hmm. And you gotta have some sweet talking to convince your people to make that trip on a road trip because it ain't near any interstate. it's like some Oregon Trail shit. Gonna pay a ferry to get you.
Is it? Is French Lick the kind of town? In my head, you can't throw a rock without hitting something with Larry Bird's face on it. Is he just everywhere in that town?
No. And another weird thing about French Lick, it's a huge, or especially like 80 to 100 years ago, huge tourist trap. And there's still like giant hotels there. It's like a tiny Branson.
Trapping you with what? Like
they used to have like some kind of like natural springs that idiots meant everyone alive in 1920 because they're all dum-dums back then. They thought had like healing properties. So like they just built hotels around there and people would make a weekend of it. Like all the like Al Capone had a regular room there. Like a lot of the presidents used to go there and stuff and go stay and go to the French Lick Springs and Now it's just like they have like somehow they got legalized gambling there too, and it was the most depressing casino. And I've been to my share of depressing casinos.
I was about to say that's saying something.
And I got to watch my dad, Papa Fulsebuck, lose every dime he brought in there on a slot machine that was designed to make him angry. It was insane watching him lose his money. And the nice elderly woman leans over and like, hey, look, I hit a big one. And she points to the screen, and she had won $7.10. And my dad, Midwest, polite enough to say, oh, that's great. And when he left that casino, the amount of hate speech that came out of his mouth for Indiana casinos was alarming. And that dumb old bitch thought she won big time, winning $7 fucking. It was, if I would have had a phone with tape recording abilities back then, that would have been some solid gold.
Oh my God. $7 in Indiana money is apparently a lot.
Yeah. Oh man!
Fuck though, I've been through times in my life where $7 would have been a lot of money.
Yep, that is true.
I'm gonna eat for a week.
Yeah.
Store brand hamburger helper with no hamburger.
Yeah. You can buy a lot of Carl Budding brand cold cuts for $7.
Like 14 of them if you catch them on sale.
Yeah. There's more salt than meat in a Carl Budding cold cut.
That'd make for 14 sandwiches if your broke ass could afford bread. But really, you're just gonna shotgun these cold cuts.
We consumed a lot of Carl Budding cold cuts growing up. Just thinking back, I was pretty old before I ever had good cold cuts.
I think all of my Carl Budding cold cuts was consumed in my adulthood, which is worse. Because I didn't have another option.
Yeah. You're the Batman of cold cuts, where I'm the Bane of cold cuts. I was born into the misery of subpar cold cuts.
I don't know mechanically separated chicken parts like you do, Nathan. You were born into it. That's not even the Bane voice.
I'll take it. That was good enough. I appreciate the attempt, Marlin.
Like my brain said do the Bane voice, but I just did the Pet Cemetery Sometimes Dead is Better voice.
Sometimes. Dead is better.
Yep. I also love in this episode, for no reason, there's a Gentle Ben talk show. Like a midday Gentle Ben talk show hosted by a bear with a microphone strapped to its head.
Yeah. That little helmet was cute.
Oh, it was amazing. God.
Oh, man. I mean, we are going down the tubes as a species, but at least those kind of talk shows aren't that, with just a bunch of dipshits in an audience screaming at complete fucking lungfish people. Like for half an hour. Like, oh, it was so shitty and exploitive.
Yeah, the daytime half scandalous fucking Springer ripoff talk shows.
Yep. I was a fan of Jenny Jones. Because there was always a little wink and a nod from the people on the stage on Springer. Like, they knew they were part of a circus and they were going to play it up. Jenny Jones, that's where the real damaged folks went. Like,
that's where the real shit was.
Yeah, they thought they were on 60 Minutes. They thought this was like a big deal.
Like, I've caught episodes here and there of, like, that bad daytime TV, those kind of talk shows, or Oprah or Dr. Phil, or even, like, Maury and all that shit. But for the most part, I have no exposure to that sort of thing, which I'm not complaining about. But I've definitely, like, been sitting in a Jiffy Lube waiting on my oil change, and there's fucking Maury on TV talking about DNA results.
Yeah.
Or lie detector results. I don't get it, man. Same with courtroom shows.
I don't know what it is. I can get in. I mean, they suck, but I can just fall into that trap of like, man, I can't sit up right now, so I guess this is it, you know?
That's how those shows survive. They rely on the lays of their audience, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, read a fucking book or something.
Yeah. Oh, man. The work, Marlin, the turning the pages.
The holding of the paper.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got to Got to remember your page afterwards, Marlin.
You're right. I don't know what kind of elite dickhead I'm being. I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on, let's think about things before we say them.
I don't mean to participate in classism, but...
Yeah. Well, you did. Let's forget it ever happened.
Yeah. Already have. Also, a fantastic, in that episode, little snippet of The Simpsons doing another musical number, Under the Sea, which is the second best rendition of Under the Sea that our audience has heard today.
Ooh, yes.
If I don't mind saying so myself.
Not everyone can harmonize like we can.
This is going to be a real fun season of The Simpsons with Disney themes. Episode 10 is the next one, and it is called Grandpa versus Sexual Inadequacy.
I'm going to say right now that the premise of this episode, which is Marge needs to get dick down. I think that's an amazing premise for an episode.
Yeah, which you've mentioned before on this very podcast, that you appreciate that The Simpsons are written as having a healthy sexual relationship.
I absolutely do.
Which I agree with, because it's so far off the norm of all the fucking sitcom tropes.
And I am with Marge. If she ain't getting stuffed like she needs to get stuffed, we got to do something about it. Got to see some doctors. We got to talk to somebody, get home around some, stuffing pills. I don't know what the proper term would be, but...
No, that's probably it. Ask your doctor for stuffing pills.
How's your stuffing going? I ain't stuffing worth a shit. Well, eat these pills. Okay. Just choke the whole bottle down in the office.
There you go. You want some water with that? No, I'm good. Just crunching, eating it, just crunching them up.
Yeah. I'm going to go fuck something.
Technically, if you make it outside the bird, it's dressing. That's a Thanksgiving joke for everybody. Happy fall, everyone.
There we go. Topical humor.
But yes, I love the recurring bit of like Marge coming in looking for it, and then it cuts to 3 days later, and again to 6 months. I think it goes to almost a year later at some point. Mm-hmm. That is a motherfucking dry spell. Woof. I'd be looking for TV remotes and Cheetos.
Yeah. Spice this up. They almost do get into it, but Bart ruins it by claiming he saw a UFO, which I was certainly that kid. I was a little fraidy cat growing up. So I know I did interrupt my parents once, but I mean, I didn't see parts of human bodies one does not want to see of their parents. But I was young enough I didn't even understand the concept. Well, they like wrestling? I think it was pretty early on in the wrestling because I don't even remember any state of undress. So
it was the first 5 minutes of the match where they're just kind of circling each other.
There's just a lot of posturing.
That's a real weird Midwestern mating ritual. You just circle each other. Maybe you lock up with the fingers, like the test of strength style. Yep.
Well, Dad's bigger, but Mom's got a lower center of gravity. Let's see how this plays out.
Here we go. Let's not see how this plays out.
Yeah. Speaking of not seeing how it plays out, did you ever walk in on anything you should not have walked in on?
Nope, never did. I am happy to be able to say that.
I have a friend that he had quite the, and he was old. He was 12 or 13, so he was already.
I thought you were going to say 35. That's what he gets for still living at home.
Yeah. But he was at basketball camp. It was supposed to be a 3-day affair over a weekend, a 3-day weekend where everyone has school off. I don't know what it was, but a storm was coming in the Bismarck area. You're somewhat your stomping ground, so they canceled the last day of it. And this is before everyone had cell phones, so you just didn't let people know. So he gets home a day early, gets dropped off at the farm, just in the basement where his bedroom was. And he saw one vehicle was home, but he didn't hear anyone. So, they must be in town in the other vehicle. And he's downstairs, probably about to play Sega Genesis or whatever one did in 1992, 93. And he proceeds to hear his parents fuck only the way parents fuck when they know the house is finally empty. his mother screaming his father's name. Oh, it's like, oh, Gerald. Oh, and like low guttural. So they are.
I was about to say, why is her voice like that?
Because he's digging her out, brother. The kind of fucking with no abandon you only do when there's none of your offspring nearby.
Like you're on a burning ship.
You're just both making pig noises, and you are rooting hard, boy. And what do you do if you're in his shoes? You're going to break in. You don't even know what room they're in. They're just upstairs.
No, you leave the house is what you should do.
I think he said he just like wrapped his head in his comforter in front of me because he's like, I didn't want them to hear me, so they knew. I just wanted it to be over with. And there was like a couple false starts where he thought it was over, then nope, right back to it. It's like this dad walking off a Charlie horse and getting right back into it. Don't you get off that goddamn bed. Yes, Gerald.
I need some fucking water. Give me a minute.
Where's my back brace?
Oh God. So how's his therapy, Ben? Has he dealt with any of that?
Yeah. I think he's trying to make it a yeah. Good for them. I'm glad they were doing things like that.
I applaud them. Good for them.
Yep. And then stifles it. You know, probably just, I don't know, once a month he has a good cry at night.
Every once in a while it bubbles up. Just, nope.
Yeah. Keep pushing it down. There we go.
I gotta pour some more drinks on these memories. Keep them down. Yeah. Keep them down.
Got that bottle of Kharkov beside the bed.
Everyone knows trauma's stored in the liver. That's why you gotta keep it grounded.
Oh, what's that you ask? Why do I have a bottle of Kharkov? It's to forget the time my mom made my dad wear a bridle. You're a dirty little plow horse, ain't you?
Got the collar, the big giraffe horse collar.
Horses don't talk, Gerald. I'm so sorry. I mean, they.
Oh man, good for them. Mm-hmm. That makes me feel good. Mm-hmm. So the Simpsons they're
trying different things. Yeah. They're trying. Yeah. They go to a bookstore. They're looking for books. Maybe something that they look at the Kama Sutra. Homer accidentally grabs a Mapplethorpe photo book off the shelf, which is a very early mid-90s joke.
I didn't get it, so
yeah, it was at the time it was a very hotly debated book because it was a famous gay photographer took pictures of like a lot of like hardcore S&M like gay community stuff and put it in a book, like lots of like crucifixes going in butts and maybe people peeing in places you shouldn't pee.
Right.
You shouldn't. I mean, hey, no, you should if you want to.
Everyone do their own thing, Nathan.
Yeah, I pee in a toilet. Some people pee in their lovers' mouths. That's... Who am I? Where do I get off telling people what they can or cannot do?
Can't judge.
Nope.
Nor do I want to. Nope. You do you.
Yeah. I use funnels for the little bits of car repair I need to do. Other people, they have uses for funnels that may surprise you.
Mm-hmm. Like getting the olive oil into the little squirt bottles to make it more convenient, so you're not using all the olive oil out of the big bottle.
That's hopefully what they're getting used for. I just hope those funnels get a good washing when they're done. I'm going to leave it at that.
I love that they settle on a Paul Harvey erotica audiobook called Erotic Americans.
I got a question for you about the whole bookstore thing. When Bart buys that UFO book and it sets off that chain of events, like where it's that music, that must have been like the X-Files music playing.
I think it was meant to be a fake X-Files song because it's close, but I don't think it's exact.
So like you and I are probably on the same boat, whereas just because we weren't able to watch Simpsons because Western North Dakota didn't have Fox yet, I never saw the X-Files.
I've also never seen a second of the X-Files.
Seems like something I would enjoy, but hey.
It seems like, I don't know. I find David Duchovny kind of insufferable.
Yeah.
Like I watched that fucking show that he had on Showtime a while.
Californication?
Yeah,
I never did see that.
And I don't know. I didn't like the guy, but maybe it's great. Who knows?
And the subject of growing up rural, as a kid, I was a lot like Bart, where I was obsessed with UFOs. I checked out every book, our local library. The middle school in Bottineau, North Dakota had an absurdly well-curated collection of like adult-level UFO and paranormal books.
Weird.
Looking back,
Do you guys like regionally have like famous UFO stories or anything like that would maybe trigger that?
No, I don't get it. Yeah, but like, did you have? I like lived in a walking panic of the idea that at any point a UFO was going to come and kidnap me.
I to this day like of all the different genres of horror movies that stuff with the slashers and the devil, none of that'll get to me. But like a good alien movie or a good home invasion movie, those two will get a hold of me in a way. And I think the alien fear really came from Unsolved Mysteries as a kid, because they would
110% for me. Exactly.
I feel like one, because there was 3 or 4 stories in every episode, and I feel like at least one was always, I got abducted, or this person got abducted and never seen again, or hey, somebody drew crop circles and took all the blood out of these cows. It's got to be aliens.
Oh, dude.
Fucking A. I used to...
My God.
My bedroom was upstairs on the farm, and there was a tree right outside my window, and if there was any manner of light or lightning at all, the shadows cast by that tree, it was constantly an alien in my head. And they'd scratch, the branches would scratch on the side of the house, and I would just be terrified upstairs. Convinced that I was going to look up and see the bulbous head and the big black eyes. God damn it, was I terrified of aliens.
Yeah, and the ghost stuff, I get shook a little bit by the ghost stuff, but the UFO shit, man, Yeah. And another one that did a number on me, and I was like terrified. I was too old to be that scared by a movie, but, #reasons. I was a scared boy. Fire in the Sky, the abduction scene from Fire in the Sky, and it's supposed to be based on a true story, and at 12, I was dopey enough to believe that shit. It is so insane. That movie holds up. I've watched it since.
I've never seen that movie, but you're not the first person I've heard talk about being scared of Fire in the Sky when they were a kid. That is to aliens what Jaws seems to be to people who are scared to go in the water. I saw Fire in the Sky too young, and now I can't go outside at night.
Yeah, and the thing that I think maybe they even did Unsolved Mysteries or something about that story. The thing that terrified me about it is it seemed real because it was a bunch of dudes cutting firewood, and they all looked like my dad's buddies. They're from rural Arizona. It's this can happen.
That's what made it so feasible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was on Oprah when I was a kid. Maybe back when Oprah was a little more sensationalistic, in the early '90s. And he, exactly, looked like one of my dad's buddies. Looked like a guy that doesn't want to be on TV. He's got picked up by a spaceship. Yep, well, wasn't good. Yep. Well, that's about it. I go, got the car running, so I guess we should go.
Can I go now? Yeah, doesn't want to be there, not in it to milk fame or anything.
Very uncomfortable looking in a suit.
Yeah. Yeah, alien abduction shit really scared the fuck out of me as a kid.
Not good.
So I would not have been Bart going to the roof with a baseball bat, which is his plan. So the Simpsons, at the behest of their Paul Harvey audiobook about American eroticism, they take some of his suggestions, like try to take a bath together. Are you okay?
Jesus Christ. Sometimes drinking's hard. Holy shit.
You try to waterboard yourself over there in your recliner?
Yeah. My bad. You have to take that one from the top. I gotta make sure I'm cool though. God, man, don't throw up. Don't throw up. Woo. Okay, from the top.
Yeah, I'll cut all that out. Yeah, I totally will. Yeah, absolutely.
That's solid gold.
Absolutely.
We got to give a peek behind the curtain just to show we're not perfect.
We're humans.
Sometimes,
we're human beings.
We are.
We choke on water. We do stuff with Cheetos. We're human beings.
We laugh. We cry.
Okay. So the Simpsons attempt to take a bath together because they think it'll be romantic, and I can't imagine anything worse than trying to be in a bathtub with another person. Like sitting in as larger gentlemen. I imagine neither of us love bathtubs.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's.
I would rather wash myself in a coffin than get in a fucking bathtub.
I would rather wash myself with wet naps in a Sonic drive-thru. So I wait for my Coney dog to get ready.
Oh, sure, I'm excited for my peach sweet tea to get here. Just tear it open, those little envelopes one at a time.
Got your shirt beside you on the passenger seat. Hey there, here you go. Here's my debit. There we go.
Scrub it up, dub dub. Waiting on the car hop or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Who's excited for hot dogs? Who's going to be a clean boy for the hot dogs?
Oh, handing him a grocery bag full of spent wet naps. Hey, buddy, can you toss that for me?
You best hurry. That bag will melt with what I did to those wet naps.
Usually I use lawn bags. They're a little stronger. But
give you a few extra minutes.
This was an impromptu bath trip.
You got one of them fancy red biohazard cans in there to toss that in? Something where they put needles?
Maybe we should run that to the hospital quick. I don't want a lawsuit.
Oh, God. But yeah, the bath does not go well. They break off the faucet and have to ask for the kids' help because they blow out the candles so they're in the dark. That doesn't work. They try a romantic getaway and all of the saucy rooms are taken and the only one left is the utility room. That doesn't work. Yeah. And then when they get back, Grandpa Simpson guesses what is wrong and says that he has a solution. And he, in his bathroom sink, mixes up an elixir, a cocktail, to get your dingle going. And it apparently works like a fucking charm.
And yeah,
because Homer rushes home and immediately gives the kids $50 to get them out of the house. Yeah. And in a fit of passion throws his pants into the Flanders tree out the window.
Yeah, that's so great.
We've not seen, I feel like we haven't seen much Flanders in a few episodes.
Very good point.
So it was
There's a little bit of him in Treehouse of Terror.
Horror, yeah. That was
horror.
Yep, he's in that one where he's the overlord. But
yeah,
not a lot of Flanders.
The re-netification camps, yeah.
And then they decide that they're gonna fucking start selling this shit. So they start selling it around town. I love medicine show snake oil salesman shit. It's always my favorite character in every Western.
Yeah.
I love a snake oil salesman.
And Grandpa has the touch. He's good at it.
Yeah, he's got the white Colonel Sanders suit and is coming up with rhymes and shit. He's great. And so they're selling their bone and tonic, and at one point it's apparently caught on so popularly in Springfield that all of the adults are gone, and they show the kids like wandering around the vacant city, just confused as to where all the adults are.
Yeah, Children of the Corn vibe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a scene with Bart talking to Milhouse, and they're trying to put together what's going on. And in the background, Ralphie is just kind of wandering around.
Yep. I love just staring at a wall.
Like he's looking for help, like he's looking for an adult, and he comes over with a TV dinner with the tinfoil on it. Just goes, "Would you please cook my dinner? I'm not allowed to use the stove." so fucking good. The idea that Ralphie is out here just hungry and needs someone to help him because Chief Wiggum is taking the bone train to Bone Town.
You get a rare glimpse of the doctor's wife, because he also bought the tonic too.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever seen her before. Maybe quickly.
Might be the first. Yeah.
But like the Milhouse family is getting into it, and all of Springfield seemingly is getting real spicy.
I was going to say, and it's the tonic is a hit, but like a lot of times when family members work together, it just isn't meant to last.
Just doesn't work out. They Homer and Abe take the show on the road. They're now traveling snake oil salesmen. They get run out of Spittle County, which is funny because they're trying to do the gag where Homer is a plant, like we've never met before, but his fucking face is on the bottle.
Yep. His pathetic attempt to have Barney fill in is so great.
Yeah. It's just not the same without Homer.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but he's, look, he's slurring and everything. Oh, that's due to unrelated alcoholism.
Yep.
God.
Is it always the showman? He's able to try to brush it off.
Trying to make a sale.
And Grandpa's attempt to, I think I've got to jump ahead here a little bit, but after the falling out where he tells Bart that he tells Homer that he was a mistake, when he tries to win him back by bringing him those flowers, and Homer just slams the door in his face, and him shoving the flowers through the mail slot and feebly waving hello to everybody. It's so great.
Just pushes destroying the flowers in the process.
Yep.
Just smashes them through the fucking mail slot. Yeah, they have a falling out. They find the old house where Homer grew up, and they're all having their memories. And yeah, Abe lets slip that Homer was not a planned child. While they're there, they find the old television. It's like the Radiation 500 or something like that. Yeah. And did you notice that Homer's shadow from when he used to sit in front of it as a child is still burned into the wall behind him?
So great.
Oh, man. Old TVs were apparently not made of anything good that you should be sitting in front of. Homer attempts to overdo it being a good dad because he thinks that he needs to compensate with his kids because of how bad he thinks Abe was as a father, and the kids are not into it. Like Lisa just wants let down from this tire swing. He's trying to teach. He's like, "We're going to teach you how to ride a bicycle, Bart," and Bart knows how to fucking ride a bicycle. Like he's very much past it.
Yep.
Homer's trying his best. And they eventually both find themselves, both Abe and Homer, in the old house again, and they each kind of independently come to the realization that they really do love each other, and they both independently accidentally burn the house to the ground, and they have their wholesome Simpsons moment, and they hug it out and then roll in the grass together because they've both caught a flame, and then we get the credits and we're out the door.
I love that their tearful embrace is when Grandpa Simpson's like, I was always proud that you weren't a short man.
Yeah. That's the thing he's proud of, Homer.
That's what he's proud of, but his kid's not short, which... As a man with many physical ailments, but height isn't one of them, I feel for people that are short. Like when you're on dating sites, I'd always just like, what is with the height? Like, why do... I'm not a gal. I don't know what gals want, which is painfully obvious. But like the height thing is just baffling to me.
I
like,
often find myself like I'm like 6 foot right on the nose. So like you're a little taller than I am. But like if I
6'2", ladies.
Oh, boom, look at that.
Yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, if you want it, here it is. Come and get it.
Might take 2 trips.
Yeah. Have someone who can't drink water without almost dying. Come on.
I need constant supervisations.
Yeah. A man willing to...
If you're the nursing type, I am what you want. I want to feel needed. I can't come out tonight, Pam. Nathan's going to drink a 7-Up. We need a couple people there. Good. Okay, break it down. Good. Is it all gone? Open your mouth. Let's check. Good boy.
Come on down to Nathan's Spicy Hospice if you're looking for love.
I've been living in hospice care for 60 years.
Oh, God. Yes, so I'm not a super tall man by any means, but anytime I see a dude who's like 5'4", I'm like, oh, you poor thing. Like, I just want to pat them on the head. Like, oh,
yeah,
poor short guy.
That sucks. Like, yeah, well, like, we got to move past that.
Yeah.
We got to move past that as a people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, gals. I'm putting my chin on my fists right now as I'm getting real. Hey, gals, write in. Give us an email. Let us know. What is it with the anti-short guy sentiment? Is he like you like to feel small? Perhaps maybe I bet that is part of the dynamic. You want to feel a taller man makes you, which is ridiculous because I would get my ass kicked immediately and whatever bad things could happen. You're not safe.
Yeah.
Carry a revolver because I'm gonna get winded even if I can kick that guy's ass. So it's at best it's a draw. That's exactly.
We can start posting that sentence on the internet. You are not safe with Nathan Fulsabach, and just see how that goes.
That's how that turns out.
Yeah. End up on a lot of lists. Whoa, we didn't mean like that.
Yeah. Let's we're gonna have to add a qualifier to that one.
Women seeing you at the bar putting a coaster over their drink. No, that's not.
No, I mean you're not safe if you're attacked. Wait, that's so good. I mean, if you're attacked by someone else, where are you going?
I'm saying you might be attacked if I'm around. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I just don't have good cardio. Because
barkeep, can I get another 7-Up and a friend?
Yeah. Not that I've been in a lot of scraps, Marlin, but few things are as exhausting as real deal confrontation.
Yeah. Yes.
And I get winded opening a soda. Oof, are they making these tougher lately? No, they're the exact same.
How many threads are on this twist cap? I'm getting a cramp.
Yeah.
Do they
come
add
back.
more
I'll brush my
threads?
teeth tomorrow. I'll finish this.
I gotta lie down. I'm already lying down.
Can I lie down more?
Oh, God.
Whew. On to episode 11?
Yes, if you were looking for affirmation there, yes.
I had to have a question, like we changed the theme of this podcast. Yeah. No, it's about small engine repair now.
You see, the tricky thing about the Briggs and Stratton is you're going to really need to keep them spark plugs clean.
I was going to say, if you're looking for filters, oil filters in particular, for a Briggs and Stratton, you're going to want to look at H.E. Everson Company. The shipping isn't the best, but the quality. You don't want to skimp on filters.
The trickiest part of replacing the pull rope is that you really got to get it coiled straight, or you're going to give it that first yank. It's going to pull your shoulder right out the socket. Then you're in trouble. Now the water pump ain't working. None of the cows got nothing to drink.
Next week.
Next week, we're tackling gas to oil ratios on your 2-cylinder. How much is enough? Goodbye.
-3 downloads. Interesting.
How did that happen?
It's a slow burner, I guess. It's going to take a while to find our audience.
Does that mean somebody uploaded 3 episodes? I don't understand.
Oh. But we're still Simpson-centric, folks, so don't turn that dial.
Oh, my God, if we could get sponsored by Briggs & Stratton Small Motors.
Oh, man, is Evinrude still a thing? We need an Evinrude sponsorship. I think they do outboard motors. I don't know if they do
I was about to
engine.
say, I think those are boats now, aren't they?
Oh, but episode 11, Fear of Flying. Homer ends up getting banned for life from Moe's for what seems like a very peculiar reason, but the comedy of it is solid gold.
Yes, it is.
Just a series of pranks that go wrong, and Homer, whose prank was the mildest of all of the pranks, they decide to kick out, and everyone's in agreement, all the regulars and Moe, which is...
Springfield mobs up quick, even if there's only 3 of them.
Very good point. So Homer is dejected right away, but he meets with his loving family, and they decide, I think they prefer if he aimed his energy somewhere else besides alcoholism, but nope, he decides he's going to find a new bar to get even drunker in.
Yep.
And what is a great combination of jokes. He goes to that very fancy high-end bar, and the maitre d' asks, "Good evening, sir. Would you like to leave without a fuss?" Such a great way to be greeted at a restaurant.
Yep, and he does. He
does.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely does. There's a great scene where he goes to the Cheers bar from the show Cheers.
So good.
So good.
Sits at the table by the door, which I don't think anyone on that show ever did.
Very rarely got utilized. Occasionally, if someone was waiting for somebody, like if Sammy had a big date, they'd be waiting there for him to lead the way. And even if it wasn't funny, which it was, I'm such a huge Simpsons bobo a Cheers bobo that, because we were a Cheers family growing up, big, and it holds up pretty well too. Good show.
I never got into Cheers until adulthood. Like, I was probably like 20 when I first started watching Cheers, and I was like, oh, this is great. This show's real fucking good.
There's a reason that a lot of those actors are still working right now, because they're super talented.
Yeah. Like every character on that show was a fucking home run. Like Clive Cliff, and Norm and Woody and Sam and Frasier, obviously. Like, every one of those characters is written so fucking well.
You know what's crazy to think of? Norm was younger than you are now in a lot of those seasons of Cheers.
Woof.
Isn't that wild?
That doesn't feel good at all.
Yep.
Oh, man.
He was like 32 when he got that show.
That's amazing.
So great. Yep. People looked different.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
No kidding. People back then had harder miles on them, I think.
Yep. They sure did. Oh, and then also there's the lesbian bar scene where kind of a zig then he zags joke, like, he doesn't realize he's in a lesbian bar. It turns out he does, but he leaves because they don't have a properly labeled fire escape.
Yeah. Enjoy your death trap, ladies, as he leaves. Yeah, because he's doing there's something off here as he's surrounded by women, and then finally, wait a minute. This lesbian bar doesn't have a fire escape.
And his last bastion for drinking is a pilot's bar, a tiny little pilot's bar, which I like the look of, just like a nondescript little brick cheese box right by the airport.
I love a little square building with alcohol in it.
Especially if it's like cement block walls too.
Yeah.
Like
Brutalism is the name of that architecture design. Which I always thought was wonderful naming.
Is it really? That is terrific.
Yeah, Brutalism.
It's just so like, metal.
Here's a concrete square fucking box.
Yeah.
It is the opposite of a cathedral. Here you go.
We're sick of the windows getting knocked out, so we just put concrete blocks where the windows used to be.
Yeah. I'm with you. I love a very practical square building.
And in a very fun series of events, Homer has to lie and say he is a pilot. You're forced to wear a pilot's uniform if you want to drink in the bar.
Yep, they give him a loaner.
Yeah. Within a handful of wacky misadventures, all of a sudden Homer is in charge of flying a jet to Chicago, which he promptly destroys by bringing up the landing gear.
Yeah, and I love the landing gear just like immediately flips up like you flipped a switch and the plane just falls.
Yep.
Cartoon physics are amazing.
It cuts to the CEO of Quasi Clown. Is that the name of the airline?
Quasi Clown Airlines. Will be a laughing stock. He's upset about it.
So to make him to buy his silence, he gets a free trip anywhere in the U.S. except Alaska or Hawaii. Those freak states.
Yep.
Quasi Clown doesn't recognize. So the Simpsons are all excited about going on a vacation somewhere, but Marge seems very hesitant, and Homer has a great speech that he has ready when Marge acts like she wants to cancel the trip, and he talks about, I don't want to just eat subs, I want to eat hoagies, I want to eat heroes. Why won't you let me live, woman?
Yeah, that's his explaining his wanderlust. Like, I don't want just hoagies. I want a sub or a hero or a grinder. Just names all these different names for the same sandwich.
I'm a fairly live and let live type of guy, but boy, I would think less of someone if I heard him calling it a hero. I don't know. That doesn't I don't know.
Well, you're an extreme patriot. You won't have that word sullied for a sandwich, no doubt.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, other treats, sure.
This is an international podcast. For us here, it's a sub, or for me anyway.
I think hero, that might be more of an East Coast.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense. Why is it a Subway here when we don't have subways? Or a submarine sandwich? We are as landlocked as possible. There are no submarines here.
Yeah, I always remember our school lunch menu. They spelt it out full. It was Submarine Sandwich Day. And they were delicious. Just the fattiest mass-produced cold cuts, and they were delish. Little slap on some industrial strength mayonnaise that came from a 55-gallon drum. Delicious.
Oh my God, I'd kill for bread. I would stab someone for bread.
Brother. The struggle is real, man.
I would eat a sub sandwich with nothing in it right now.
Just a loaf of French bread's what that's called.
I'm at the point every time I'm slapping meat into a romaine lettuce boat now. I'm just fucking, you are not bread. You're not bread at all.
like you're chastising a naughty puppy. You're not bread. Not bread. Your neighbor across the way is like, what the fuck is going on now? Why can't it ever be normal over there?
Why can't he ever shout anything normal?
And they're getting loaded up on the airplane. Marge is obviously slightly agitated, but trying to keep it under wraps. And Lisa and Bart are able to fight their way to the front to get a free upgrade to first class.
Yeah.
And, you ever flown first class, Marlin?
Fuck no. No, I've never gotten up to the front of the plane.
Oh, have
you?
The last 2 times, I am a man of a certain girth that I don't want to subject anyone to have to share a seat next to me.
I'm with you.
Yep. I think I'm doing everyone and I fly so little. It's I can spend an extra few $100 and
shell out the extra.
Is worth it. Yep.
I fly extremely infrequently, so
Same here.
The last time I flew, I lucked out by both. Every plane I was on was practically empty, so I was just fucking laid out, just in my own section. The one time that didn't get to happen was on an 18-hour flight to Hong Kong, which was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, like a huge plane. like it was 3 seats and then 5 seats and then 3 seats. Like
it was a plane pulling a trailer. There was like people in the back.
Yeah, it was.
Is that trailer like pressurized? Like, well, I guess we'll find out when we land.
And I sat in that fucking plane, and like every time I would sort of drift to sleep, I would catch an elbow or a kick from the 6-year-old sitting next to me. And so I arrived in Hong Kong so jet lagged, 13 hours behind, and haven't slept in that entire time. Eyes bloodshot, just like skin chewed off of my lip. Like, it was a nightmare. It was like a Timothy Leary fucking level of delusion, just losing my mind when I got there.
Well, it sounds like you had a great time.
Yeah, Hong Kong was fun, but flying sucks. I hate to fly, man. A, I'm not built for it. B, like, it's just a shitty bus that's in the air. Like, it's just a Greyhound, except if it breaks down, we're guaranteed to die. That's all a plane is.
I'm telling you, you gotta go first class next time. It is. And like the first time I did it, I looked like a rube because I am a rube. I'm a complete hillbilly. And the guy sitting next to me, this tiny little kind of like fastidious guy, had his laptop. He's already doing work shit. He can tell he's an angel. He can tell that I'm, right off the fucking turnip truck. He's like, hey man, order because the lady is like, do you want a drink? Oh no, not right now. And he's like, hey, are you gonna drink later? I'm like, yeah. He's like, get a drink now. And he like brings her back over. He needs a drink, and he's like, "Yeah, you just keep ordering them. Like they're right there. Like
yeah, you may as well.
You don't have to pay for them. Just keep." I had like 19 gin and tonics on my little folder and got greased. They bring out the hot towel on your head. You recline. You can go spread eagle. You're man spreading all over the place. Just covered in, like, they're just throwing food at you. Eat more Long Johns, you fucking pig. It's like, I will.
Because they just need to distract you from what a nightmare flying is.
The bathroom was literally a 1.5 feet from where I was. It's the easiest. I could go to the bathroom on that airplane easier than I could go in my own apartment. It was just, I mean, I could never shit because there's no way I could sit down in that bathroom.
Oh, God, airplane bathrooms are a nightmare.
That would have just been a slight buckle of the knees and let her spray and pray, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. To leave a $5 bill on what they, by the sink. Like, my bad.
I hate that this mirror is so big and so close. I don't want to see this. You're shouting, "Don't look at me," at your own reflection.
Yeah. Oh, I can close my eyes. This ain't so bad. Do you have any phobia of flying at all? I'm shocked that I don't.
No, I have no, I'm terrified of heights, but when you're in an airplane, the height doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I don't have any fear that the plane's going to crash. And it happens so seldomly.
And I was worried because I get motion sicknesses. I was thinking maybe I'd get altitude sickness. I was fine.
Huh.
And I have flown so little that I'm still just intrigued. I'm like, look at this. How is this possible? Look how fucking we're gonna go in the sky? What?
I'm the same way. During takeoff and landing, as they're coming in on approach, I'm the guy pushed up against the window. Look how high up we are. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah, clapping like a little kid, widespread finger clapping. Hey,
yay!
We did it.
I just need a hat with a propeller on it and a giant lolly. We're going on the plane.
Can I tell the pilots good job after we land, hon?
Do I get
tickle you under the chin?
Do I get the pin with the little wings on it?
Yeah. Come on. But they don't get to do that, Marlin, because Marge flips her wig and she freaks out, and they are taken promptly off the plane. And it's obvious that Marge has some mental issues, and Homer, because he's an asshole, just wants to shove him down and keep life as is. Lisa, the more, I don't know, intuitive of the bunch, she realizes there's some issues and kind of talks Marge into getting some kind of therapy.
And Homer, the way Homer reacts to someone seeking psychiatric help is
not healthy.
It's exactly like how everyone we know would have reacted at this time in North Dakota. Like, not a mental health state.
Oh, man.
I don't know why I started that with A, because I didn't have a B. I didn't have a second point.
Yeah. There's a great clip where I think it's a Homer like imagining something where it's like lost in space.
Yes.
And, he is the husband, like the doctor, and Marge is the wife, and Lisa is that weird ass robot that everyone recognizes. They don't know what it's from, but at the end, because it's usually danger, danger, Will Robinson, danger, danger, danger. My hooks are flailing wildly, which is a very good point. It's a very poor robot design. Let's just have giant metal hooks flail when anything bad's happening.
Doesn't seem dangerous at all.
Yeah, that couldn't exacerbate the problem at all. But finally Marge does get into therapy. I think it's Dr. Zwig? Is that the name?
I don't remember the name of the psychiatrist. I did
we
not
kind of get a
down.
flashback to her childhood where she's told her father is a pilot, but when she's a curious little kid, she runs onto the plane to find out that her father is a stewardess or a male flight attendant.
Which is apparently a big problem.
Yep, apparently, yeah. It's like, I guess it's a age thing. It's like, oh man, like at least
different
a third
time.
of every, different times. I do like how he's wearing like a frilly, doily looking apron.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a little demeaning.
Yeah.
Who wants fresh cookies?
All of, like, the last time I flew, I flew to Alabama to see a buddy of mine, and I had the most polite but also sassy gay flight attendant who slipped. I never paid for a drink. I bet he slipped me a dozen tiny little bottles of Jack Daniels the entire time. Like, I arrived in Huntsville just like, oh, I gotta sit out. What are we doing? I need my friend to pick me up and take me to the hotel because the world is spinning.
Yeah, let's get this big fella all sorts of drunk so he can't flip out mid-flight.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, it's like dulling the senses of a big animal on like a train. Like,
it's like tranquilizing a bull before you transport him. We don't need him getting saucy during this. Let's keep him docile.
I mean, that big son of a bitch gets running, he'll be ruining everything.
Yeah, I'm like Bowser in Mario Kart. Like, it takes me a while to get up to speed, but when I'm there, I just knock everything out of the way.
Yep, nothing slowing you. They just kept giving you blankets until you couldn't move anymore. I mean, I'm kind of stuck here. What if I need to go to the bathroom? Like, what do you think the blankets are for, hon? Just go.
Here's another bottle. You'll be fine. I'm not scared. I'm just drunk.
I'll take it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't saying no. It would come by and be like, oh, thank you.
You go first class, they mix you drinks, like high-end drinks. It's amazing.
Man, all the planes I've been on, it's like, here's a can of Coke and a glass with one ice cube and two shooters of Jack.
And I could totally, I justify the cost. I was like, well, this is a 3-hour flight. I can get, I don't know, 12 drinks down. And they don't seem to say no, so.
Yeah. There's something
literally and figuratively going for big air tonight.
There's something about airports and airplanes, like none of the drinks count. since you're not in control of anything. You drink as much as you want on a plane or in an airport. Just like, whatever, I'll worry about it when I land. I bet I'll be sober by the time I'm in Chicago. Who gives a fuck?
It's like you forget there's a whole other world when you land.
Yeah.
You're back in reality. I guess I could drive this rental car.
Yep. When I was coming back from Alabama, I had like a 2-hour layover at O'Hare, and I sat in a Chicago Cubs airport bar and just slammed mozzarella sticks and old styles the whole time. I landed in Fargo hungover. Like, oh no, how did this happen?
And full of cheese. But though, just like it often does, the therapy works.
Yeah, imagine that. Who'd have thought?
And Marge has faced her fears, and she understands where her phobias come from. The check bounces, so the doctor doesn't get paid. But hey, the Simpsons they're back to their old ways. Yep.
I love that Marge also mentions like some other airplane mishaps, like they do is it fucking North by Northwest or whatever that thing is, where the plane like buzzes her by the cornfield, and there's one where she's got like almost like a Pinewood Derby car, but it's a plane and it starts on fire, and she's like, you think that maybe has anything? She's like, no, it's your dad.
Yeah. I like how in the North by Northwest, it's just like a 4-year-old Marge getting walked up to a cornfield by her mom. See, Marge, there's a cornfield. Like they took a trip out into the country for that.
And had to walk all the way up to it. Didn't just say it from the road.
Not from the car.
Yeah.
You really can't experience corn until you're 4 feet away from it.
Yeah, you got to get right up in the corn. I'm always saying that. I have that T-shirt that says it. That's my get her done. You got to get up in the corn.
It's funny that's never caught on.
Yeah.
All that money you dropped, you cashed out your 401k to buy corn merch.
Yep. Haven't moved a single hat.
Yeah. But it wasn't, at this point, saying it's a good episode is redundant. They're all good.
There was also a joke earlier, like right when they get kicked off of the plane after Marge is having her freak out, and Homer, like, it's such a specific joke, like puts an arm around her and is like, that's okay, we don't have to go to the killer bees, they'll come to us. Killer bees were way more of a worry in the early 90s than they are now.
Yeah. Shout out to faithful listener Jan, who has discussed the 90s killer bee phenomenon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we were very worried about killer bees in the 90s.
That's accurate. I forgot that he has that joke.
Now we have hornets the size of our fist that eat killer bees.
Yeah.
And like your pets, I think, too.
Yeah, one will just swoop down, take your cat right off the patio. They're like owls.
Yeah.
Next episode is number 12, Homer the Great. I really like the couch gag here where the camera pans back and it's an MC Escher painting as the family walks in. I really like MC Escher artwork. I feel like that's something that you like when you're young and then grow out of, like dinosaurs, but I'm still fascinated by it.
What? We're supposed to grow out of the dinosaur thing?
Nah, I haven't. I still think dinosaurs are rad.
Dinosaurs are wild.
Fuck yeah. Did you see
imagine that shit is so crazy.
Did you see the clip circulating around Twitter this week of the alligator on the golf course in Naples that someone filmed? It's a fucking dinosaur. It's like 4 feet tall. Terrifying stuff.
Like dinosaurs are dinosaurs, well them too, but alligators when they get tall enough to there's clearance under their bellies when they walk. You're a dinosaur then. Congratulations.
Yep,
you're
made
now
it.
a dinosaur.
Yep. We start off in the Simpson home. Their basement has flooded. There's a pipe just spewing water, and I really like that in the back corner of the basement you see the giant war totem that Burns bought them in the episode. I forget what they do for Mr. Burns, but he buys that giant angry-looking like Native American war totem for the family. and they keep it in the basement.
Yep.
I thought it was cool to see that. I like that the plumber is so lackadaisical, like, I'll get around to ordering the part. It'll be a couple weeks. And then he, like, answers a fake beeper call and has to leave. Just an asshole. Homer's in a traffic jam, and I love the gag that he turns on the radio to hear the traffic report, and the guy giving the traffic report, they've crashed the traffic copter, and that's what's causing the traffic jam. Fantastic joke. Homer starts seeing that Lenny and Carl have all these weird perks at work, and they won't tell him why. They get great parking spaces. They don't pay for soda out of the vending machine. They got massage chairs in their cubicles, and Homer goes out to find out why they have all these great perks. And so he stalks them out into the night, follows them to a like Masonic Egyptian-looking temple. Turns out they are part of the Stonecutters Guild, a secret society, which I love secret societies, like the Masons, the Shriners. I think the Shriners are up to something with their hats and their little cars and their circuses. Even something as simple as the Elks Lodge. Like, are you guys Elks members? What do you do?
What's the premise behind the Elks Lodge?
No fucking idea. No idea whatsoever. Like, I don't know what the Elks Club is.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, I know, like, Knights of Columbus, that's a Catholic-based organization.
Okay. The Sons of Norway is one here.
So that's... I think JCs, that's young professionals or young businessmen, I think.
Okay. Yeah, these like memberships that I know nothing about and have never been invited. Even something as simple as like the Lions Club. Like, what do you guys do other than sell mints at gas stations?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
No clue.
Like, yeah. I think it says something about our character that no one has like, psst, hey, come here. You want to join? Like, because I had a very similar thing happen when I was like a freshman in high school. All of a sudden, all my friends are like, hey, I can't hang out after school. I have the science club. Like, what are you talking about? What's a science? I didn't realize all of my friends are in activities that I didn't know existed. Like, oh, I'm a National Honor Society. Like, what are you? Are you making shit up? But nope.
Yep, just a lifetime of being left out.
Yep, they saw the cut of my jib and they did not like it.
but now during COVID times, we're part of the most exclusive fun club, Out of Work Stand-Up Comics. Take that, the American Legion.
Yeah, we have our own group.
I'm always just happy to be able to go to a VFW to drink, even if you're not a veteran.
Yeah.
Because I think members or veterans only VFW posts are a real thing.
I think so. It's either the Legions or the VFWs or the AmVets.
Okay.
One of those three as often can be just members only type things.
I think I've had too much to drink in each one of those establishments while being
There's
none
some
of
the
those.
Best places to drink in. Absolutely.
God damn it. The AmVets here in Fargo where it's like, $2 pitchers. Yeah, there's 4 of us. We'll take 4 of those.
Yep.
Just drink out of the pitcher like animals.
It's mug night. No, it's pitcher night. I'm going to repeat it one more time. It's mug night.
Yeah, get real in touch with our like German ancestry. This is just a Stein. No, Mr. Folzenbach, that's a pitcher. That's for the table. Well, yeah, where else would I set it?
Whatever.
Glug,
Here's
glug,
another
glug,
one.
glug. Yeah. $3 with tip for a pitcher of Budweiser.
So amazing.
Woof. Good times.
Good bar popcorn too. I'm an elitist about bar popcorn.
Yep. And they got a touch tunes, so you can play it right off your phone. Don't even have to walk to the touch tunes.
Get in that pointless cardio.
Yeah. Throw darts and drink too much at the AmVets. That's a good slogan.
Could you ever see yourself joining a group like the Masons or Shriners or something?
No, like I appreciate the causes they support, like the Shriners up here, and I think everywhere, because I think it's kind of their main thing is like they help like children's hospitals and stuff.
Yep.
I can just donate to that. I don't need to be a part of the group. Like I don't like people that much. I don't want to have to be like, oh, I got to go to this meeting.
Those Shriner commercials for that Shriners Hospital.
Oh,
Bravo.
man.
It's just this bunch of bright-eyed, weirdly shaped little kids that are like, oh, I'm all goofed up, but thanks to Shriners, I don't have to, do obscene things to make a living.
And you could help. Man. You could help me for $6 a month if you weren't such a piece of shit. It's like, man.
It's just like at the end, it's like, here's my social. Just do what you need to do. Like, take all of it.
Where can I just mail my debit card? Like, you guys can just have it.
If those kids need blankets or weird shoes to walk right, whatever, just do it. Just little angels.
Yeah, it's anything you want. You don't even have to send me a blanket or whatever thing you give donors. Just get that kid a new whatever he needs.
If I had children and I looked at my hopefully non-afflicted children and looked at them just being shitheads, then see these goddamn angels and the Shriners that got fucking 7 arms sticking out of their back, and then say, you sons of bitches can't even clean up your room? This kid with no legs is tap dancing right now on television. Get with the program, you goddamn scumbags.
You were born with a torso unlike that little girl on television, and you're squandering it. You're squandering your torso.
Yeah, she doesn't want arms that come out of the side of her fucking head. That's how much she built like fucking Miss Pac-Man, but she's dealing with it.
Yeah, so make fun of those old men's little hats and tiny cars later, because I'm sending these kids money today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those commercials and the ASPCA commercials for the animals are always killers.
I got a hot take on that. That might alienate some of our listeners.
Oh, no, Nathan.
Nothing drives me more up the wall than when it's like, it's Celebrity Week here on Wheel of Fortune. And it's a bunch of celebrities on something like that, and they can choose their cause of choice. It's like, hi, I'm playing for the Ventura County Hatless Cat Society. There's kitties out there that don't have hats, and it gets cold. Like, there are motherfucking torso-less kids at the Shriner Hospital. How about we get them some torsos? Shoot all those cats. I'll say it right now. got a cat with a hammer in its head. Shoot it, put it out of its misery, and fix those torso-less kids first. Jesus Christ, these fucked up cats aren't even on the top 500 things I want to take care of this world.
Oh, God.
Oh. God damn, fuck those cats. I'll say it right now. You need a cat? I know a farmer that's got 40 of them. There's so many cats out there, man. There should be like one veterinarian's office in every state. Like there's a lot of problems I could solve pretty quick if you're old. My cat's 19. We need to get its diabetes. No, you don't. You don't. There's an answer. You're not going to like the answer, but there's an answer.
Oh, my God.
Can I get cataract surgery on my 24-year-old dog, Mittens? You can, but listen.
Come on down to Nathan's Rock Clinic, where we just solve our problems with big rocks.
Yeah, I mean, big as shit. They ain't gonna suffer.
You'd be the worst vet. Like, just in veterinarian's college, just like, come. Why do you want to be a vet? Oh, I just always want to help animals. Oh, I just always love animals. And Nathan's just like, I want to help people say. I just want to help people let go.
Yeah, I'm just scoffing through the whole time. Oh, what are we learning this for?
Oh, God.
They give me the bill for $12,000 for the medical equipment. It's like, hey, how about this? I already own a ball peen hammer. We're good. If your dog or more than likely your livestock is really sick, I'll have you drive to Bismarck and go to a real vet.
Oh, man. Oh, you're a veterinarian, so you save animals. No, I just drop 50-pound bags of Quickcrete on their neck and throw them in the pile out back.
Yeah. Are you going to bury it? I mean, I guess once a year we do.
Oh, God.
When someone from the county complains about the smell.
Someone can spare a payloader for the afternoon. Holy shit.
You're welcome.
I agree that maybe we should help people before we help dogs. I can follow you down the path that far, but I don't think there's a reason we can't do both.
I remember my dad overhearing me talking about a buddy of mine that was given his cat's diabetes shots, and he lost his mind. He said, hold on a second. What were you saying? He's got to catch his cat, so he's putting up a fight. When he's like, what the fuck is he giving cats shots for? Does he? When I told him he spends money on it, he just blew up. What? How much money does your friend have?
Oh, God. There are humans who die because they can't get insulin.
How about you mail that cat insulin to a person, and I get you a new cat tonight? I'll get you 40 cats if you love them so much.
As a cat lover and a cat owner, I totally understand where you're coming from.
And I don't even hate cats. I don't want to own mine, but I like a nice cat. It comes over, it's kind of affectionate, and love it. But I love torso-less kids more.
Well, you stand for something, Nathan.
Yeah. There's an Aaron Tippin song in there somewhere, but I can't remember the title.
There sure is.
Whew, hot take. Here we go.
Boy. Hachi machi. A friend of mine, this is not related, texted me just yesterday saying that thanks to you, the phrase hot take has worked its way into his lexicon. So you're out here changing the world.
Here I am. Look at me go.
Turns out that Grandpa is a member of the Stonecutters. You need to either save the life of a stonecutter or be the son of a stonecutter in order to get in there. Turns out Grandpa's a member. He has a membership card for seemingly everything. Also the Masons and the Communist Party, which I thought was very funny. Homer goes through the initiation, which is just frat boy shit, like paddlings and whatnot.
A lot of paddling.
Yeah, a lot of paddling. That paddling bit goes on a while.
Yeah.
Again, I don't judge. You do you. Everyone's got their kinks. Suddenly now Homer, like the plumber fixes his basement and the traffic isn't a problem because he gets in like the secret tunnel entrance. Things are going great for Homer. And they're sitting around. They sing a fun song about how they control the world, which I'm not convinced the Masons do, but that's clearly who we're making fun of. And they're going to have ribs that night, and Homer doesn't want to get any on his robe, so he uses their priceless, like, sacred parchment as a rib bib and really fucks it all up. Gets sauce on it and blows his nose in it and tears it all up.
Yeah.
Real great sight gag of him just continually defiling their sacred parchment. And they kick him out of the group, and he has to drag this huge rock around his neck naked all the way home as like a shame ritual. And they see
the rock of shame.
And they see that he has a birthmark of the Stonecutters logo, and think that he must be their chosen one that they've been waiting for. And I don't know that that's part of the masonry bit, but it fits in here. It's a little culty, But so are the Stonecutters, I guess. So they start worshiping Homer as their chosen one, and they patronize him to the point of absolute boredom. They show him, like, shooting pool, and they tip the table so everything goes in. They're playing poker with him, like, with their poker hands facing him. Like, just letting him win everything. Yeah. And he's bored.
Changing the rules of poker.
Yeah.
Like, you have a royal... Something else.
Royal shuffle or whatever he called it. A sampler. A royal sampler.
Royal sampler.
Yeah. And so he's bored of it, and Lisa suggests, like, well, maybe you use your position to do some good in the world. And so he starts preaching, helping others. They build a playground for kids, and they paint over a bunch of graffiti, which I love. If you looked close at the graffiti, it's kind of just the word graffiti over and over again.
It is so great.
Which I thought was a very funny bit. And they paint it the same color as the sky, and a helicopter crashes into the building, which was also very funny.
Yep.
And then, so they're not into this anymore because this used to be just their fun beer drinking club, and
which I suspect 95% of those clubs, it's just a reason to get drunk on a work night.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what the Elks are. Is just a drinking club. I
think I could maybe get into the Elks because I don't know if they do anything but drink. That might be my speed.
I think me for sure, but I think we have performed comedy in an Elks club, so.
Oh, interesting.
We've got a foot in the door.
And we don't need to have a reason to drink on weeknights. We already got one. They're called open mics.
Yeah. Yes. That's what you do at an open mic. Usually because you're sad.
Yep. Oh boy, are you?
Oh, there's one civilian in here, and he's asleep. Civilian meaning non-comic, not.
And I'd almost take a sleep over what most of them are. It's visibly agitated that we're telling jokes on a PA system right now.
Mad that you're even there.
I am shocked as many bars are willing to have open mics as they do.
Yeah, every time I hear over Facebook or whatever, hey, there's a new open mic at this bar. It's going to be every Monday at 8. I'm like, fucking why? What bar signs up for this? Like, I'm thankful that you're giving the comedy community a place to do our thing, but why would you want this?
How bad were things before?
Yeah.
Is this place haunted? Because that's the only reason that you are afraid of being alone here. It's the only reason.
Like,
you would invite these animals in here.
Is it so bad that you're fine with the fact that only 10 comics are going to show up and 5 of them might have a drink, but that's you coming out ahead by selling 5 drinks on a Monday night?
Hope you like pouring tap waters.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of it.
There's going to be a bunch of them. A couple of the fancy ones might ask for a lemon in there.
Which, great.
You best start charging for them lemons.
Yeah.
So the Stonecutters all decide that since this isn't what they were in it for, they all leave the Stonecutters and establish a new club, which is the No Homers Club. So now Homer is the demagogue of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but there's a nice wholesome family moment of like, well, you're the member of the Simpson Club, and credits.
Very sweet. I love the sweet endings.
Yeah. Well,
just a big soft.
This next one gonna give you a cavity.
Speaking of the next one, it's And Maggie Makes 3. Right away, I'm gonna tell you, Marlin, I was a little apprehensive because it's kind of had the feeling of a flashback episode.
It kind of is.
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad. I think maybe just the level of the show has gotten better, so I don't mind it as much.
I think part of it, because I had the same thought and then analyzed why do I think that, I think it's because it doesn't take place in a different, like, decade.
Yeah, it's not like a decade.
They're not making jokes about the music at the time. It just feels like an episode of The Simpsons, like just a regular episode, because it takes place 2 years before the start of the show. So
yeah, I do like how they're like looking through the picture album, and I think it's Bart notices there's like no pictures of Maggie, which I know you, as a single child, and me as only having one sibling, don't really notice it, but I have cousins where there's like 4 of them in the family, and that is a common phenomenon. Like the first baby, there's like 4 books of. I have a cousin who's the 4th on the totem pole named Corey. There's not a picture of him in existence before he's 8 years old. It's like he has a baby is a myth only shared with in legend.
They would have had to done a police sketch artist for his milk carton photo.
His toddler years are only shared in a rich oral history. Just shared from one generation to the next.
Yeah, like Beowulf. Just an
yeah, it's the Beowulf of 4th siblings.
See, I was an English kid too.
Yeah, well done. Oh man, I'm trying to think. They were throwing shit like Beowulf at me in in college when I was drinking far too heavy to be concentrating on a weird Middle English language.
Yeah. I remember.
It's like, I could be reading this, or I could be drinking 7-cent tap beers at Teasers. Whatever. Insert shitty college bar here.
See, I wasn't deep into my drinking by that point. They threw Beowulf at me at like 18, and I was like, ooh, Grendel's a wolf, because I was a fucking dork.
I was going to say, I'm going to break out my ceremonial cape for this one.
I'm reading it out loud to myself, doing all the voices.
Asking your doormate where your fangs are at.
Did you move them again?
They're desperately trying to transfer to another college.
I got lucky when I lived in the dorms for 2 years, and I had a single room, like a real baller.
Ooh, yeah. Oh man.
Like
self-pleasuring was fast and furious in that room, I'm guessing. You humped the floor so much that's just like a burnt-in line on the floor from the direction you would go. Just scooch from one end back to the next over and over again.
Path, yep.
Yeah. That's a peculiar path.
Chair wobbles if you said it this way.
That one chair leg really stinks. I don't know what's going on here.
Jesus Christ.
It's almost as if someone was flipping it upside down and using it for something it wasn't built for. It's probably just in my head. Have a fun year at school, Corky.
Anyway, back to the PlayStation 2. What class you guys got this afternoon that you're skipping? Geology again? Fuck yeah, it's geology again.
My first year of school, I was 20, so I should have, I should have been a little more mature, but I turned 21 3 weeks into my first semester, and I was told by my roommate, like, hey man, it's your 21st, this only happens once, you got to take the day off so we can pregame before. So pregame my whole day before. Then it's, it's your birthday. You can't go to school on your birthday, especially your 21st. So just day drink all day on my birthday. Of course, go out and get very close to killing myself with alcohol poisoning. So I need to take off the rest of the week. That's how hungover I was.
Was that the beginning of the end for you?
Yep. And then it was, Christ, it's Monday. The Vikings are playing. It's your first Monday Night Football where we can go to the bar. So I took all of Monday off to pregame for Monday Night Football. And then I just kind of stopped going to school in mid-September.
Real slippery slope.
Yeah. And that began a long run of me withdrawing from classes.
real on again, off again relationship with education.
With attendance. I am proof positive that they should rebuild higher education from the ground up. I shouldn't have a degree.
Well, you paid for it, so
that's all they need to tell people is if you show up, they're going to get you through the door because that's what they want. They want your money. Just show up. They don't fail you if you show up.
That degree is like any other product. You paid for it, and now you have it.
Yep.
And you'll pay for it for the rest of your life, most likely.
Yeah, that's the way it's going, yeah.
Hoorah!
Yeah, fun times. And it's just so lucrative to have that undergrad and English degree. It pays for itself.
Yeah, you get Beowulf references on podcasts.
Yeah, that's worth crippling debt, isn't it? So they go into the flashback on the life before Maggie and leading up to Maggie, and it's in a great collection of scenes. It's Homer is at work and he's marking off on a calendar with a day he's officially debt free, which we see on the calendar. Homer has a very unhealthy fixation with Dick Clark.
Yep, weird days. Like he has Dick Clark's birthday, and then like day to bully Dick Clark or whatever that one is.
Harass Dick Clark.
Yep.
And he is very proud that today's the day he's out of debt. And like Carl and Lenny are like, well, what do you mean? You still got to work. He's like, well, I got that figured out, which I was just thinking he thought since he was out of debt, he couldn't work, which would be funny in a total Homer type thing. But he leaves work in the most triumphant manner possible by bursting into Burns' office and letting him know the score. And he's not impressed with Mr. Burns. So you're not my boss anymore. I can play your head like a bongo. One of the hardest I've ever laughed in this show is when he's playing his head like a bongo, and Burns' face is so serene. And what does he say? He's like, I should be angry, but I'm paralyzed with rage.
I could be resisting this. Yeah,
that's what it is.
I could be resisting this, but I'm paralyzed with rage and these rhythms.
Yeah, is it island rhythms?
Yes, yeah.
It's a specific rhythm. And then not only is he playing the bongos, then he's playing the bongos on his head as he drives off of work, the company grounds in a golf cart.
Yeah.
And everyone cheers. And then he just kicks Mr. Burns off the moving golf cart. That's what you get for employing me for 8 years. Only Homer could ever make Mr. Burns seem like a sympathetic character.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so great.
And then the cherry on top, he literally burns the bridge as he drives over it. So good.
I hate to backtrack, but there's also a scene where like he replays to the kids that he like saved, kind of like in a Die Hard scenario. He saved all of his coworkers from terrorists.
Oh, right.
And then Marge makes him tell the real story, and he is kind of cooling himself in front of a fan, and Lenny and Carl are behind him, like almost nauseous. And one of them goes, I don't think you should go to a doctor. I don't think a healthy person can make that kind of smell. I love the idea of having body odor so bad your friends are concerned for your health. That doesn't smell like normal people.
Yeah, we're worried about you. Go to a doctor.
Ugh. And it turns out that, of course, Marge is very concerned when she finds out Homer quit his job at the power plant, and he explains it all out. They're just going to have to cut back a little bit. They decide that only one kid can go to college, which that was in the cards already. Bart is not a college man. And Homer begins working at the bowling alley.
Yep, just doing something he loves. He doesn't need... Yep. He just needs enough money to live now. Doesn't need any extra to pay off debt.
Yeah, I love how he's just genuinely happy. I never was a bowler, but I have nostalgia for bowling alleys because my mom worked in a diner attached to a bowling alley. So I spent a lot of time in them as a youth, and I enjoy the smells and the sounds. There's a lot going on in an active bowling alley. A lot of alcoholism. That's one thing. But I try to remember the sunnier side of it.
It's a real specific vibe, from the smells to the wild bad carpeting that every bowling alley seems to have.
Yep.
The sounds, the
weird shoes.
Yeah, everything.
The people that.
It's a
taking it too
specific
serious.
aesthetic. Yeah. The people. Yeah.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like people, they've got their own balls in a leather satchel with their name engraved in the ball, and like
Gloves?
Like Brunswick brand gloves. Like, do you need a specific glove for bowling?
But then in the very next lane, you have a work party. No one bowls. No one wants to bowl. They're just here to drink. They're eating food. Like, you got fucking nacho cheese all over the house balls.
Yeah.
And then right next to him, someone who takes it as seriously as possible.
Yeah. And I think Homer's official title is Pin Monkey, which I like. Which is a fun... my grandfather, in his early teen years, was also a pin monkey.
Really?
Back when that was literally a thing, that you'd hang out behind the bowling thing, and when the ball would fly through, you would clamber down a little ladder and set the bowling pins back up.
Yeah, there's a fantastic episode of The Dollop, which is a history podcast, American history podcast, hosted by two comedians that I can't recommend enough if you like American history. And one is the history of bowling, and they spend quite a bit of time talking about the Pin Boys.
Like, and my grandpa said he made like a nickel a month or something dumb, whatever they like, some weird old timey, like, and then it was more than enough money for a young man to, I don't know,
own his own home.
Bought, or I don't know what a teenager bought back then, like sarsaparilla and hair tonic, like, assorted hair oils,
a bike rim to chase down the street, and
a
cigarettes.
coin to flip, it's because you're smoking at age 9 back then.
Yep.
I think my grandpa quit smoking during the Korean War because the new recruits had to pick up the butts, and he was so sick of it he vowed he'd quit smoking because of how much he hated picking up the butts.
Look at him.
Yeah. And that was all he ever talked about, the Korean War. I don't think that was very fun.
What? You don't think the Korean War was fun?
He did not have a lot of exciting tales.
It's not a Shoney's. Of course it's not fun.
There's a lot of staring right ahead when the Korean War come up. We need to change the subject. It's real quiet here.
Oh no, Grandpa's staring at ghosts again.
Oh my man, that's our first dip into the Korean War. Good on us, man.
Yeah, no, we're studied young men.
Yeah, we very much are. The largest mass retreat in modern war history, when the Americans ran into the Chinese army and had to work their way through North Korea back to South Korea.
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite war memorials from an aesthetics and design standpoint.
Oh, fascinating. I did not even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, in DC it's just like statues of soldiers, but it's kind of out in a field, and they all look like they're moving all in one direction. It's very cool. Look it up.
Oh, I like the sounds of that.
And then Vietnam, we got this fucking wall, I guess, whatever. Like, it's purely from a design standpoint. The Korean War Memorial is very cool.
Oh, good to know. So we're cut back to now. It's Homer. He's loving life. He's not a rich man, but he's rich in life experience, which he's just loving it. And him and Marge are happy. The family's happy. Marge and Homer are happy enough where they decide to get after it a little bit. And one thing leads to another. One gets after it, and someone's pregnant.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
Yeah. And Marge knows that having a kid will really throw a monkey wrench into the financial situation in the household, so she doesn't know what to do, but she decides to drop the tea with Patty and Selma, who cannot keep a secret, and they get a lot of enjoyment out of making sure Homer finds out about this in some way.
Yeah. The whole town knows before long.
Yeah. And we get a good dumb Homer where it's like people are dropping very obvious hints to him and he just has no clue.
Yeah.
I think it's Mo was like, hey, good job getting Marge pregnant. And he still doesn't pick up on it.
Yeah, he thinks everyone's congratulating him on his new job at the bowling alley.
Yeah. Which is something you don't get congratulated for.
Right. I think it's Wiggum is like, hey, good work, Homer. And he's like, it is good work. It's like, you dumb.
See, this is the kind of dumb Homer I like.
Yeah. Just purely dopey. No mean-spirited, just purely dopey.
the word does come out, and he is very crestfallen because he knows what he has to do.
Yeah.
And he has to go crawling back to the power plant.
Literally.
I love when he walks in and it's like mentions he needs his job. Oh, are you applying or reapplying? Is it reapplying? Oh, well, there you go. It's because there's a normal door for applicants, but for supplicants, there's like a tiny dog door that you have to crawl through a bunch of dust and cobwebs.
And then comes out the other side at Burns' feet on all fours.
Yeah,
so perfect.
So great. Yeah. And of course, Mr. Burns, evil as he is, just revels in this and lets him know that you're going to be here forever. And which he gets a plaque that says you're going to be here forever.
Yep.
You're going to be here the rest of your life, whatever it is.
Don't forget, you're here forever.
Yeah, which is really helps build morale.
Calls it as punishment for your desertion, which is such great phrasing for an employer, like for a job to use.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so good. Again, anytime you get little Mr. Burns squeezed in there, it's usually always a good thing.
Yep.
And he comes to realize it, and then, he's kind of still not too jazzed about the whole third kid thing. Then he's in the, Marge is in labor, and Homer's still very nonplussed. Push, Marge. That's good, Marge. Great work, Marge. He's very blasé about the whole thing.
Yep. Very depressed.
Yeah. Until little baby Maggie's born. He's still, even at that point, but then Maggie reaches out and grabs his finger, and he is just in love.
Yep. Just a big softie.
Yep. And then again, talking about that sweet ending, what do we see? That his office is surrounded. He covers up the plaque and most of the wall with pictures of Maggie. It's like, oh.
Yep. That's why there's no pictures of Maggie in the photo album, because
yeah, what a fun little turnaround.
He has them all at work where he needs them.
Yeah.
And he's put them over the "Don't forget you're here forever" plaque to where it spells out "Do it for her."
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even pick that up.
Oh, really? It's made pretty obvious.
Sometimes I drift. And looking at an episode like this, let's all remember that in the 90s, conservatives thought this show was the Antichrist.
Yep. They thought it was real bad and going to destroy America, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nope,
Little did they know that 20 years later, we would spend 8 to 12 hours a night watching bum fights on YouTube.
It wasn't The Simpsons that did it.
It was not at all.
Like, we got there.
It was access to everything. And we choose the word. Oh, what? 9 hours of animals attacking people? Count me in. Hey, fuck you, guy on a bike in some Asian country. You're going to get leopardized.
And all these slovenly white people are going to love it on television.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't The Simpsons. We got to where they thought we would get, but The Simpsons didn't do it because the Simpsons are wholesome as shit.
I am still shocked that the amount of free instantaneous pornography that's out there, how that hasn't just destroyed the economy. It's shocking that people still go to work every day.
I'd imagine all this COVID, everyone works from home shit has got to be putting a real dent in it, though.
Oh my God! Yeah, good point. Yeah, holy. Yeah. Think of at least a third of the Zoom meetings you're on. A third of the people finished masturbating seconds before that Zoom meeting began. Shirt collars a little twisted up, a little flushed in the cheeks, sweaty.
Oh, I just got done working out. I just got done working out before the meeting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you?
Yeah. Then they share their screen and there's browsers and tabs everywhere. Oh, looks like Daryl splurged for the premium content. Good for him.
Look at him. What a fancy lad. That wraps up this batch of episodes from season 6. As we say every time now, I guess. Good batch. Hell of a batch.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I need to, like, when this is all said and done, I'm gonna go back and rewatch like seasons 3 through whenever, because I want to just sit back and enjoy these, not have to like think as much. Because it's so good. Like,
yeah, it's outstanding. It's a great show. It turns out.
Yeah.
You know, hot, fresh news for everyone. The Simpsons is very good.
Have you heard the news?
Tell your friends about this show, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
For sure, tell your friends about this show, America's Barley Basket. And
spread the good word.
Yeah, because we are still at it. We're going to be at it for a long time. And we thank everyone for coming with us on this very late to the party journey.
They've announced that the NBA season is going to begin around Christmas time, so I'm going to come up with a new group of NBA, hard hat type players that we can start reaching out to see if they'll be our friends, because we want them to be our friends.
We do. Maybe.
Sure do.
I still want it real bad, just for you, buddy.
Yep. We got that taste of it. Oh, that taste was so good. Shout out to Bo Outlaw, wherever you are.
Probably doing something rad. I were to guess.
Yeah, totally, or just what the typical 48-year-old man like, waiting for his daughter to finish up fencing lessons or something like that.
Is that what you think 48-year-old men do?
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Bo Outlaw is certainly in a tax tier way above ours.
That's true. That's
he's a
accurate.
Privileged man.
Yeah.
His children are very privileged, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's a great father who likes his kids to be involved in a variety of different things,
including fencing.
Perhaps fencing is one of them.
Man, I remember
Here's how much of a hillbilly I am. When I first think of fencing, I think of literally
fixing fences.
Fence.
Yep. Yep. Same here. Absolutely.
But isn't it crazy that the people that do fencing that way still vote for people that do fencing the silly way with the silly swords?
Yeah, you're
Isn't that fun?
right. Oh, God.
Isn't that fun? Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they do.
Why are you voting for people that would not even... They would be furious if you were on the same airplane as them. They would talk to somebody and get you removed because they think you're a trash person.
Wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire.
Yep. Because they wouldn't want to get that near to you because they would assume you smell. Just remember that.
That's why they have those fencing swords. Keep you at bay.
Yeah, to poke away the pores.
Yep. That's the secret of fencing that no one tells you.
That's how fencing began. Just get now.
Keeping the pores at bay. Yeah. On guard translates to stay down. It's a classism thing.
And the mask is not so much for protection, it's to keep the poor person's smell away from you.
God, when I was a kid, I used to think fencing was like the coolest shit. Like, oh man, you put on a beekeeper's outfit and sword fight.
Yeah, but it's only kind of like pretend to sword fight because no one dies.
Yeah, it's professional wrestling of sword fights.
Yeah, I bet real sword fighting is boring because someone just dies.
All right, a sword fight. Fuck, it's over. It's like ordering a Tyson pay-per-view in the 90s.
Yeah, yep, exactly. 7 seconds cost us $80.
Everybody pay up. Like, it's 20 a pop. Here we go.
Yeah, it's the 90s, so everyone's writing a personal check. It's got a pocket full of checks.
God, I watched a guy. I got stuck in a line behind a guy writing a check at the grocery store. I was like, "Who even are you, time traveler? Get out of here." You can find us on Twitter at BarleyBasketUSA. You can email us barleybasketUSA@gmail.com. Next week, we will do it all again. 5 more episodes 14 through 18 of Season 6 of The Simpsons.
Sounds cool to me.
Yeah, we'll keep at it.
See you all next week, everybody.